Yes, so we have the classic tradition of haiku part 4. Because we like it, we're reading more. Anyways, we are looking at the women haiku poet, Kaga no Chiro. We're reading, and she has even more poetry. So she comes to to Tambo Suri. I wonder in what fields today he chases dragonflies in play, my little boy who ran. Actually, her little boys catch dragonflies by attaching gum to the tip of a bamboo pole like a fishing rod. This haiku is one of the most moving in literature. It was written by Chiro after her only child died at the age of 9. I'll read it again. I wonder in what fields today he chases dragonflies in play. My little boy who ran. It's sad. Okay, Hana. Next poem, Hana Sakanu. With no flowers. You are free as a willow. And this refers to sympathetic friends sent Chiro a haiku on the loss of both her husband and child, invoking the old adage, the willow need not regret having no flowers. And Chiro replied, without flowers, one leads a quiet life as the willow tree. Chiro meant that the willow is not bothered with flower viewers or by storms that buffet other tree leaves. Her answer is something of a rebuff to her friend's well-meant condolence. She writes, the poem again says, with no flowers, you are free as a willow. The next poem is Yaku Narimo. 100 different chords from the mind of one vine. 100 different chords from the mind of one vine. Mind. When Chiro asked to enter a nunnery, the Zen master, who considered poetry a worldly attachment, asked her how haiku could be Zen-worthy. In other words, have 1,000 meanings from a single thought. The master was humbled by the excellence of this haiku and accepted her into his order. She writes, Haira Ryaku Narimo Siru de Totusu Tsino Kokyo. 100 different gourds from the mind of one vine.
How do you spell gourds?
Gourds are
you drink something.
Gourds. There are little plants hanging from the vine, like the neighbor house we have with the big gourds hanging. Gourds are things having. They're a plant. 100 different hanging from one vine. Anyways, we shall continue. Next poem. Suki mo miti. I've seen the moon. I sign my letter to the world, respectfully yours. I've seen the moon. I sign my letter to the world, respectfully yours. She's signing off for what? Chiro's deathbed verse. Kashiki is an elegant woman's phrase to conclude formal letters. She's just concluded her letter. It's a deathbed poem. I don't know. Next poem. Next poet. Next poet is Hayano, Hajin, 1677 to 1742. The poem reads, Shira Fuji Nia, behold the white wisterias, the Milky Way blown by the wind. This guy is a pupil of Kikaku and Ransetsu and teacher of Buson. Important poet in the 1730s back to Basho movement. 1730s back to Basho. It doesn't say anything else. It says, behold the white wisterias, the Milky Way blown by the wind.
How did they know about the Milky Way?
How did they? Well, that's a translation thing.
It's much later they understood that.
Well, that's
Milky Way,
the
it's
real
one
poem
galaxy.
is just a Japanese. Maybe that's just adopted by a translator. Here's another poet, Gozan, 1695 to 1733. Kaya Hiraki. The what's it? Footnote 2. Sorry. This is another poem by Hajin. Sumigama Ya. The charcoal kiln. A deer watches the evening smoke. Charcoal kiln. The deer watches the evening smoke. Farmers use smoke as a repellent to keep deer from despoiling their fields. Very good. Kazan now, 1695-1733. Ka-ya Hiraki. The wonder of flowers opening and birds singing prayers. The wonder of flowers opening and birds singing prayers. And it says that it's his haiku trickery. A palindrome reads the same forward and backwards in kana, the Japanese alphabet. He says, Kira Biyaka, Kira Biyaka. It's a palindrome. It says, Kaya Hiraka, Nori Kubu Tori no Hira Paraka. I guess it's a palindrome, but we can't see it. Taigi is another poet, 1709-1771. Yaburi no. Servant day, sleeping near the lone parent. Servant day, sleeping near the lone parent. End of poem. Next poem. Digawariya. The change of servants. Her tears splash on the tatami. Once a year, traditional Japanese allow their household servants and menials return to their own homes briefly. Takawari was the day after 6 months' service. Apprentices advanced to new jobs and old servants were retired. Okay. That's again the change of servants, her tears splash on the tatami. Next poet, Yagi Shokyu ni, 1713 to 1781. Wife of Shida Yaba secretary. Looks like a woman. It says Wasurigusawa. The forget-me has bloomed, but I cannot forget old days altogether. She says, the forget me has bloomed, but I cannot forget old days altogether. Written on the 13th anniversary of her husband's death, Wasarigutsa, literally forget-me-grass, is a teeny, ephemeral daylily. Forget the forget-me has bloomed, but I cannot forget old days altogether. Next poem, Siraga Tomo. Lo, willow leaves have gone without getting gray-haired. Lo, willow leaves have gone without getting gray-haired. Yes. The willows shed their leaves without turning color or shriveling. Shakurini envies them as she is losing her beauty in old age. She's losing her beauty, and they're not, they stay beautiful. With the willow leaves. This is Yagi Shokurni. She says again, lo, willow leaves have gone without getting gray-haired. Next poem, Yakishi no no. Violets have grown here and there on the ruins of my burned house. Violets have grown here and there on the ruins of my burned house. Compare other haiku about violets. Just says go look at Anutsura and other guys and check them out. Check out. Well, okay. Now we've come to Buson, but we have encountered Buson. Yosa Buson is a famous. I thought we knew Buson. Buson was a painter, and he's one of the four greatest haiku poets, an even greater painter, and a master of vivid images. The name Busan can be written either as a deserted village or a turnip village. He was born near Osaka in a place famous for sweet turnips. Busan was first a disciple of Kikaku, although he found the master's haiku so obscure as to be like wearing brocade on a pitch-black night. At age 22 in 1737, he became Hajin's pupil and was active in the Back to Basho movement that restored haiku to legitimacy after a period of 50 years decline. Some of Busan's longer poems read like 20th century free verse. He was passionate about kabuki and the world of flowers and willows, and used his poems, calligraphy, and paintings to pay for tickets and prostitutes. Okay. That's one way to use your poetry. Now, Busan says, Basho Sariti. Well, that's actually, we're going to come back to Busan. I guess we'll have to stop and come to Busan. We've just finished reading some more lady poets in the classic tradition of haiku, part 4. And we'll continue with part 5 with Busan.